I try to call out hypocrisy, especially like these politicians and stuff, because all these politicians, like as soon as they get elected, even if they're a little city council member or something, they think that all of a sudden we work for them. That's not the case. Like they're just so hypocritical. It's so easy to call out. And that's the other thing when it goes back to the abortion. If you look at the law, if I'm a drunk driver and I hit a pregnant woman and kill her and she's pregnant, that's a double murder. Yet those same people will be like, oh, a baby's just a clump of cells. So it's just and that's whether you're on the right side or left side. It's just the world is full of hypocrisy and we need to call it out. And that's like one of the things I get pleasure out of is like when I can be like, oh, you're a hypocrite. And sometimes I'm a hypocrite. You know, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I don't know what example I'm thinking of right now, but I'm, not perfect. I've been the hypocritical stuff. I said, oh, I don't want to do that and done it. So, and it's just, we live in a goofy world and I like to call out hypocrisy more. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, yeah. This is from Crash Mondo. So many municipalities hold their meetings during business hours so that regular working class people can't attend. And I'm sure it's also easier for them. Like if they are also working regular 9 to 5 type hours, like they probably want to go home to their families. They probably don't want to have these meetings, after 6, 7 o'clock. But do you feel like there's truth to this?
Yeah, there's a little bit. The bigger the city, they do it during the working days. It's always like 9 to 5, but usually smaller cities, because the council members have day jobs, are usually at night. So yeah, so it's like the bigger the city, the more it will be 9 to 5, and the smaller towns are usually always at night, and those are usually like every other week. So he does have a point, but like New York is 9 to 5, all their meetings, because that's like those people's day jobs. But seriously, Chrissy, that's the next thing. I'll look up the next meeting because I've even called into some New York meetings because this is the problem. New York City, for me, the whole country, and this is the perfect example, is after 9/11. After 9/11 was a terrible thing, but New York like bounced back because the whole country got behind New York City, and America goes the way of New York City. However New York City is doing, America follows that lead. And so, well, that's the problem is right
Get
now
ready for more crackheads.
Well, yeah. and that like when I was there, if you watch Fox News, they're going to tell you that, oh, New York City's like a hellhole right now. I didn't think it was that bad, but I wasn't there that long. But at the same time, we are being so easy, and my family's in the bail bond business, and the problem is they don't have a bail system. So the same form that you can sign to get a public defender, you can sign to get an ROR bond, because they say that having a bail bond is racist. Yet if you went to jail,
ROR?
Released on own recognizance, instead of having a bondsman. And the reason why that's a big deal is because these police can't arrest somebody. Like a person rubbed poop on a girl's face on a subway and was out 24 hours later because they said, I'm homeless, and they signed the same form that you'd sign to get a public defender. Yet if you and I rubbed poop on somebody, Chrissy, we would be in jail. We would have to get a bondsman. Wow. We would not be able to sign that same form.
Even if we said we were trans?
Even if you said you're trans. I mean, if you said that you don't have any money, which is possible, you can lie on there and say that you're totally broke, and they could let you out, which that's what I would probably suggest people to do. If I got arrested in New York City, I would say that, I'm totally indigent. But this is why it's bad. It's other criminals see that, oh, it's easy to get out of jail in New York City, so they go there. That's the same thing that happened in Los Angeles. A 23-year-old UCLA grad student was stabbed in a high-end furniture store by a guy that was off the street that had 17 prior arrests. So at some point, we have to keep people in jail if they're like, career criminals. And in New York City, they're not doing that. And you look at Blasio, he's not the mayor anymore. Now it's Eric Adams. But the guy's living in a hotel now. I don't know if you saw the latest thing. Did you see that?
Eric Adams is living in a hotel?
No. Google de Blasio and his wife are living in a hotel underneath in a 4-star hotel, which isn't that super nice, but they're staying in a suite in a hotel. They don't even have a house. So that shows you that somebody's paying the bills. Oh
my God. But wow, you're right. Look at this. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But my point being is de Blasio literally sold out the city of New York. I mean, he's in total debt, and that's where he's living. This guy was the mayor of New York City, the most powerful city in the world. And there he is checking in with his wife. He's got a wife and kids.
Marriott at the Brooklyn Bridge, and that is like near the Dumbo area, which is very expensive.
Yes, oh, for sure. It's a very nice hotel, I'm sure, and he's not paying the bill, or it's on some credit card in somebody else's name or something. But I guess my
$600 to $5,000 a night. Woo!
And my point being is like, we need to get behind New York City and build it up and actually, take some ownership of it. Like the whole country is being sold out by these multinational corporations like Disney. Listen to this. Disney is fighting the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. Yet the Beast of Dumbledore, the movie they made, when they play that in China, they edit all the gay scenes. Star Wars, they edited John Boyega, a black guy, off the poster. During Pride Month in Saudi Arabia, none of these companies will post a rainbow flag. Yet they all post rainbow rainbow flag in America. So that's the problem, is these multinational corporations like Apple, one of the biggest companies, at their factories in China, the Foxconn factories, they have suicide nets, Chrissy, because their employees are constantly killing themselves.
I
You
heard
can look
that.
this up. If those phones were had to be built in America, yeah, they would be 3 times the price. But they would actually have regulations. These companies would actually, they wouldn't be able to just make their citizens work so hard they would kill themselves. So these companies, my point being, these companies do not care about us. All they care about is their bottom line. And those are the ones that are paying the politicians like de Blasio, like Eric Adams, to constantly vaccinate people, to constantly let people out of jail, that are actually making our country worse. Because if these were actual human beings in charge of making these decisions, like Curtis Sliwa, say what you want.
Yeah.
He's a goofy guy. I don't
He's
think
in
he would
touch with the people.
Yes. But none of these politicians are.